Do you find yourself in a relationship where sometimes it gets rough and you wonder if this is really it? And you've done all the things, and maybe you've tried couples therapy, you've tried your own therapy, and you're maybe wondering if, like, this is it. Maybe this just isn't the relationship for you because you're sick of compromising. And either you give something up or your partner gives something up, and eventually there's just resentment brewing. I know how this feels. I've been there too. My name is Sarah. I'm a co-creative relationship coach who works with therapist coaches and other helping professionals whose lives are good, but their relationship just isn't great, and their work maybe isn't as enlivening as they'd like it to be. I'm here to teach powerful tools that can support you to shift your reality, to shift your experience, both at work and at home and in your relationship. I didn't realize there was this huge piece missing for me, and that was working with the energy of my emotion. I'm trained as a therapist. I worked in healthcare for many years. I'm trained as a coach. And it wasn't until I got divorced that I discovered working with the wisdom of the body and the energy of emotion that I realized this was the missing piece for me. And it's the most important piece in my relationship now. It's a game changer. And so I feel super passionate about getting this piece out into the world because it wasn't anything I learned in school. It wasn't anything that I learned in many years of on and off therapy. So I'm here because I get to play with these tools that I didn't know about before, and they've totally changed my life. They've changed my relationship. Well, they've supported me to create a new relationship. That's amazing, and I love it. And it's not always perfect, and we, of course, get stuck, but we have practical ways to get out of it. So today I wanted to talk about this idea of compromise and what it means to have a self and relationship. And I noticed myself in my own life reverting back to these old ways that I think are just have been programmed into me just by the nature of everything. I mean, we hear this idea that you have to compromise. Compromise makes a marriage work. And that makes sense to me from a reactive brain perspective, right? Reactive brain being the place where I'm going to show you something. So this is my very high-tech inner map. This is reactive brain, right? This is us. This is like a whole thing. I'll do another video on this sometime. This was created by Dr. Julie Colwell based on David Hawkins' map of consciousness. But this is all mammals, and these are all emotions that have been lined up energetically. It's one of Hawkins' big contributions to the work is he calibrated the different levels of consciousness and lined them up. So all the negative emotions, negative not because they're bad or wrong, but because they drain our energy, are part of reactive brain. Now, reactive brain is our threat response system. It's constantly in the back of our minds, and it's necessary to keep us alive. I want my reactive brain to get me out of the way of the moving vehicle, but when it comes to relationship, it just kind of sucks because there's certain qualities to reactive brain that was so life-changing when I learned this, because I was coming from a pathological lens that these things were problematic and it meant something was wrong with me, and there's the DSM, and not that that's wrong. It just is I think rooted in reactive brain. It's ways in which we've described the qualities of, or we've assigned diagnoses to different qualities of reactive brain. If we really get lodged there, I don't want to get on a high horse. I definitely can. I can get in reactive brain about reactive brain diagnoses. But my point is, there are some very basic qualities to reactive brain, and when we can notice when we're in those, the ego, right? It's competitive, it's scarcity thinking, it's either or, it's black and white, it's my partner becomes the enemy when I'm reactive brain, or my friend or my colleague, whomever I'm in reactive brain with. It's the drama triangle, we're in personas, right? The parts of ourselves, the sort of defense mechanisms. Reactive brain is exhausting because we're marinating in stress chemicals and norepinephrine and cortisol. And reactive brain it's the mind. It's when we get stuck in the grind of the mind. And I think that a lot of relationship, when we don't know that there's this whole other way, we end up lodged in reactive brain. And I think reactive brain is the source of all conflict, especially when we don't know we're in it. Because my reactive brain, when I go into it, before I knew about all this energetic perspective and looking at conflict through this lens and looking at relationship through this lens, I would go into reactive brain and I would think either it's your fault or it's my fault. Something's wrong with you, something's wrong with me, something's wrong with the world, right? It's narrow focus. It's looking for what's wrong, which is great for keeping us alive. I need to spot a threat. It's just I'm not in that threatened state like humans were for however many years. And so in relationship, things can look like a threat, the look of the eye or the tone of the voice, that aren't actually a threat. And then I'm in that place and I'm in narrow focus and I'm seeing you as the enemy, and I've lodged myself into a negative state, and my thinking is now reflecting that state. And so from this place, which is all I really knew of relationship, right? Another interesting thing about reactive brain is it's where all power struggle lives. So power over, which can often land in the pride, anger, agitated fear place. I'm like saying this like you've seen it before. I don't know, maybe you have. Power over lands up here, right? A little bit more energized. Power over gains control through sort of outward force. And then power under lives in guilt and shame, like lower energy. Power under kind of gets their power through retreating, withdrawing. I'm going to withhold myself, right? So both power over and power under are vying for control. It's just in different ways. Neither one is good or bad. I think it's just what we do. And so from this place of reactive brain, it makes sense that you'd have to compromise, because it's a competitive mindset. It's somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. And so if we don't know about creative brain is, it's our essence, it's our soul, it's where possibility and synchronicity and connection and innovation, it's where we're in rest and digest mode. This is the magic of life, if you ask me. But when we don't know that we can exist in these realms in relationship, of course we have to compromise, because reactive brain says somebody has to win and somebody has to lose. And so this time you don't get what you want, and the next time I won't get it. And again, I have so much love for this because it makes sense. It makes sense that to the mind that if somebody has to win and somebody has to lose and we don't know about a third way, let's just compromise. I'm like feeling like I've said this so many times already, but I just want to drive this point home that I love reactive brain. It's doing the best it can, and it's so limited. It's for survival. It's not for thriving. It's not for the evolution of ourself and our soul. It's to keep us alive. And so what happens over time with constant compromise, constantly not getting what we want or the other person not getting what they want, so we get angry. I'm not getting what I want. But I'm doing this thing, I'm doing what I should be doing, but deep down I don't like it. And so then resentment builds. And the further we get lodged in reactive brain, we're probably thinking it's the other person's fault. Like just kind of maybe having, not all the time, maybe all the time, but just kind of having nasty thoughts, and we're not looking at our partner the same way, and we don't love them the same way, and maybe the love is gone, and maybe you just can't get it back. That's all this. It's all reactive brain. Because the way I see it, the love, that's inside me. Love is my essence. It's already here. It's just obscured by all this stuff. And we don't know, we don't have a way to clear out all this density and contraction and conflict. Of course this looks like that it's all there is. But underneath it is who we really are. I think we come in this way. And so I think what I want to say for today is that if you're landing in compromise over and over, and you're not happy in your relationship, and you don't feel as connected, and you're questioning whether or not it's the relationship for you, I wonder what it would be like to have the tools to shift out of those dense, negative, reactive brain states to access your creative brain, to access your essence, to be able to see your partner in his or her essence. I think that when we let go of these old ideas that we have to compromise, and we begin to consider how can everybody get what they want, because I believe that's possible. I've seen it over and over again, that both people, all people, can get what they want. it just doesn't look like that from reactive brain. Creative brain says everybody gets to have everything they want. And when we boil down to the qualities of what it is we really want, often we find that we both want the same thing. And so learning how to shift over and over again up into our essence, being able to see ourselves in the other person, I think, is the key to shifting, to co-creating the life and the relationship that you really want, without having to change the other person, without having to change yourself. It's all inside. And with some really powerful tools, one that I'll teach in one of these videos coming up, especially a tool called SEW. Maybe you'll go look for it. You can look up Julia Colwell. She created SEW. She's got some videos on it. I think that you'll find some hope, and I think you'll feel empowered, and I think you're going to learn some wild and radical new ways to create the life and the relationship of your dreams. So that's all for today. If you liked this message, if you want to hear more, I hope you like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I look forward to connecting more with you in the future. Thanks a lot and have a great day.